How you doing? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. I got something special for all my YouTubers out there, my fellow folding knife lovers, triad lovers. It's a brand new one for 2019, fourth generation for 2019. Fourth generation, which one am I talking about? Which one has had 4 different changes since it's been a triad folder? Well, can you guess? The XL Espada. The XL Espada. The 62 NGCX. G10 Espada SL. That's the one we're going to talk about today. It's a little bit different than the new one. Is a little bit different than the CTS version, my other old one that I have. They claim that it has a 3.7 millimeter blade. What else is different? So CTS-XHP, it has AUS 10A. Instead of being DLC coated, it's stone washed. Instead of having the highly textured handles, it has smooth textured handles, smoother textured handles, so they won't tear up your pants. But anyway, let's get into it. All the other specs, I'm not gonna really get into the specs and stuff because y'all really know about these knives. But anyway, let's bring it the oldie but goodie first. There it is. I used to have the AUS 8 one, but then I turned it in for it because it was defective. And they sent me this one instead to replace it. That's how I got this one from Cold Steel. Absolutely loved it. No gripes for me. This is way nicer than the one I had before, the AUS 8 one. Love this knife. I carried it a couple times, but I found it was too big for me to be carrying. So it's been a safe queen ever since. The edge has never been used. It's absolutely beautiful though. This is a knife I would have if the zombie apocalypse would hit. This would be the type of folder I'd want to be carrying. It's an absolutely great knife. Alright, let's get the new one. Da 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 da. And there it is. Isn't that beautiful? The grinds on the blades are exactly the same. They're both saber ground blades. No more hollow ground blades for the AUS series of Cold Steel Espada XLs. The handles are smoother. They're more like, I would compare them to like the Black Talon or the Tiger Claw. But they're not thin though, they're still thick, but they just have the same texturing where it won't tear up your pants. Let me let you take a look at that so you can see for yourselves. This one is very easy on your pants. This one isn't. This one is supposed to be 4 millimeters thick. This one's 3.7 millimeter. Tell you the truth, I'll let you take a look and let you decide. But I can't tell the difference. They both look like they're the same thickness. So maybe this one is not really 4 millimeter. Maybe it's 3.7 also. Or maybe this one's not really 3.7. It's really 4 millimeter. Also, the blade grinds are exactly the same. The tang, the blade, everything is exactly the same. They look like they're interchangeable to me. I'm not going to interchange them, but they look like they could be interchanged. They look exactly the same. And on this side, you can see this side, look exactly the same. And we have our local YouTube star here. She's trying to take over the video. This is Juno. Say hi, Juno. Okay. Now Juno needs to get down. But anyway, I absolutely love this one. When it came to me, it was a little bit stiff on the opening and closing. So with this one, I took it apart. I polished the lock bar, took off all the burrs, polished the liners, the stainless steel liners, the partial liners, and polished the blade tang, and polished the handle scales, the G10 handle scales, and the phosphorus bronze washers. Now it works perfectly. Lines up perfectly straight. No, it doesn't make any noise, or the blade doesn't have no wobble to it. Because I like to have my blades fairly tight. It's excellently balanced. This is a beautiful knife. I always did like the nicer finish on the AUS 8 ones, because they did stonewash for a little bit on those too. I never got one. The one I had before was a bead blast. Don't really care for the bead blast though, because it makes the blade too porous. But the stonewash is beautiful. I love stonewash blades. And this one is an absolutely beautiful knife. I would highly recommend it to anybody who wants to get a big XL. And now, instead of being really expensive like the CTS-XHP version, which is like over $300 usually, you can get these for like in between $175 to $200. I think it's a bargain. The AUS 10A is supposed to be a lot nicer steel than the AUS 8 used to be. It's supposed to be more like a VG1 steel or a VG10 as far as edge retention. And I expect it to be tough like AUS 8A was. AUS 8A was like the one that most of the videos that you see where they're doing tests and stuff with these knives are with the AUS 8A ones. So I have total faith in the AUS 8 as, as far as like being a real tough steel. It's not the best at edge holding. But it is easy to resharpen. I expect this to be fairly easy to be resharpened too. Probably a little bit tougher than the AUS 8. But I don't expect it to be like CTS-XHP where you get that special stones and stuff. I use diamond stones on these. These, on AUS 8, I just use like the regular old Arkansas stones. And you can always sharpen it back to a razor's edge. But this is a beautiful knife. I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to get one. And if you tune it right, it's super easy to open and close. Nothing to be afraid of. Well, true, if you're a novice, if you're not used to opening and closing them. When I open and close this, I always put my finger all the way forward. So then when the blade closes, I catch the tang. And see, my tangs always polish them, so it makes it nice and smooth on my finger. But I always catch the tang. You never put your hand back here and let it close, because it'll close on your hand and chop your fingers up. You just gotta be, you can't be scary opening and closing these. You have to put your finger all the way forward and catch the blade tang. And once you catch the blade tang, you stop the blade from moving, flip it over, and take your thumb and just close it with your fingers out of the way. That's how I do it. I'm telling you this because I don't want to see anybody get hurt. See, I catch the blade tang, flip it over, and close it. That's the way you do it. You never have your hands way back here or something like that and just trying to drop it or whatever. When I see people do that on the internet, I always go, oh my God, I don't want to look, because Looks like they're gonna mess up their fingers. That's the way you get hurt. You gotta put your fingers all the way forward, you know, right up as far as you can. And I always use the side of my thumb. Close it. See how that lands? Flip it sideways. Put my fingers out of the way, and close it. But these are beautiful. I really like this one. This one's going in my EDC drawer. Not because I'm going to be carrying or anything. I just like having a nice big house knife. And besides, I like to play with it a lot. This one's a really nice knife. Really nice. I think it's a butt. I think these are a bargain compared to what the older ones were, the S35EN ones or the CTS-XHP. Sure, these are a lot nicer steel probably, and everything, all that kind of stuff, because they're powdered steels and they're the more modern steels, and they hold their edge for, I don't know, 300 or 400 cuts of rope or whatever. Whereas this may only do it for maybe 120 or 150 cuts of rope. I'm just guessing. I'm just putting that out there. But, in real life, in a real life combat situation or a survival situation, or if you're defending your life and stuff, you're not going to worry about how many times you can cut rope. You just need to cut it a few times, right? But I would highly recommend these. This one came to me from Cold Steel. Cold Steel sent me this. And I had sent in another knife that was, had some issues. And they sent me back this one. Absolutely love it. Thank you, Cold Steel. Now, the other knife I sent in was discontinued. And so they replaced it with this one. So they're about the same value. It's a beautiful knife. I love Navajas. My first pocket knife that my father gave me was a Navaja. A Spanish Navaja that he bought during the World War II time, or in the 1940s when he was stationed in San Diego when he was in the Marines. And he used to go to Mexico all the time, like Tijuana or whatever. And he purchased a Navaja. And he carried it for many years. And it was so broken in, you could just like flick your wrist and it'd come out and make this tick, 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 sound before it locked up. Because it had like about, 5 or 6 locking positions before it locked up. And it had a blade pretty much like this. It was like a clip style or Bowie style blade. And it had a scene engraved into the side, both sides of a bullfight. Deeply engraved into the blade. It was a carbon blade. It wasn't stainless steel. And so it aged and it had patina. It was a real beautiful knife, and it had pearled scales. And it was real fancy. And it was about 9.5 inches, maybe 10 inches long. And that's the knife that my pops gave me when I joined the military. And I lost it in Germany when I was stationed in Germany. I think somebody stole it out of my locker or something. But it's a great knife. This is a great knife. And it looks, it has a total look of a Spanish Navaja turned tactical, but without the ratcheting lock. It has a better lock, though. Actually, it has a triad lock. Absolutely love this. I would highly recommend these. Highly recommend them. But anyway, let's see what they weigh. One thing I found out is this one weighs more than this one. And they're made exactly the same, except for this one has texturized handles, highly texturized handles, which would probably, mess up your pants pockets. And this one doesn't. And I don't know, maybe when you texturize the handles, it makes it lose some weight or something. Either that, the blade steels are heavier or lighter than the other. Because this one's a 4mm blade. If it's supposed to be a 4mm blade, I would expect it to be heavier than this knife, but it's not. That's why I think these blades are the same thickness. Because if you put them side by side and look at them, they look exactly the same. I don't have a way to measure to see if they are exactly the same. So, it'd be great if somebody out there and YouTube land, you know, can measure these and see if there is a difference. I think they're the same. I think the blades are manufactured in the same machinery or whatever than this one was. I think they're just using different blade steel and they're giving them a different finish. But anyway, let's weigh them so you can see what I'm talking about. First one up, CTS-XHP. 14.3 ounces. 14.3 ounces, people. This one, $15 ounces. See what I'm saying? This one's a lot heavier than this one. Yet it's supposed to be a thinner blade stock, 3.7 millimeter blade stock. I think they're the same blade stock. I think what might be different is that I don't know if the steel is heavier than CTS-XHP, the powdered steel. But I don't know if the Japanese steel is heavier than the US powdered steel. Or maybe the handle grips, or this handle grip, because it's not texturized like this one, might make it a little bit heavier. I don't know. It'd be great if somebody could tell me what's going on, if anybody figures it out. But anyway, that's all I got on these. I just wanted to put these out there and let you see them. And I highly recommend them. The new AUS 10A Espadas. Highly recommend them. Peace out. Stiletto out.